Hey, 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 everybody. Welcome to our live stream. It is lovely to have you here. I see so many questions already in the chat, so many people I recognize. So thank you so much for joining me. We are going to do a bit of a cruise Q&A today, but we do also have a special guest. So that'll be very, very exciting. If you do have a question, can you please start it with question in capital letters, just so I can pick out what is a question and what is just everybody chatting. It's lovely to see everybody chatting. By the way, I could just sit and probably just watch you for the whole hour, but you're here to watch me. So yes, we have some questions already in here. So I'm going to do probably a few. I'll explain a little bit about our guest and the new announcement that you've probably seen me make this week. But if we do a few cruise questions to get things started, I think that's always a good thing for a cruise live stream. So the first question I have is about Norwegian Cruise Line, but it's more general. It's about, are service charges and gratuities compulsory? And this is an interesting question. I get a lot of questions about gratuities. So gratuities are just tips, and American Cruise Lines will do a thing. I say American Cruise Lines with confidence. I think it is pretty much just American Cruise Lines. They'll add on a daily tip to your account, and they're not compulsory. I would suggest you just leave them on so you don't have to think about tipping in cash. It is kind of assumed that you'll leave them on. The crew get paid through that gratuity. But Costa Cruises, I think, are the only one where you can't take it off. Which is a bit weird. Just put it into the cruise fare, I think. But yes, if you're taking a Norwegian cruise, you can expect to see just one amount per day, service charge, gratuity. It's just the same name for a thing. And you can expect to see that every single day on your account. You can take it off. I would suggest just leave it alone. Leave it alone. The next question is, have any cruise lines considered a separate donut or cookie package? I mean, that would be great. I don't think so. I don't think most people consume enough cookies to require a cookie package. But if they could do something like a cookie subscription, I'd be absolutely up for that. That would be awesome. Oh, I thought I got to the end of the comments then. It's just jumped down. Happy Friday. Yes, happy Friday from Vegas. Amazing. We've got people in here from all over the world. All over the world. My goodness. Oh, tricky question from Chloe. Best first cruise from Southampton. Tricky. There's so many cruises you can do from Southampton. My personal favorite is probably a Norway cruise. I love Norway, but you can also do cruises like even this one. I went all the way around to Barcelona. So people take world cruises from Southampton. Transatlantics are very popular. Mediterraneans are good, but you have to get round this bit, of course. Yes. Hello. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much for the questions. So you probably have seen this week, if you are on my newsletter, if you are on any of my social accounts, if you have watched any of my YouTube videos, you've probably seen an announcement that I have made this week, which is sort of a business personnel announcement for me. It feels like it's been a long time coming, and I was very excited to make it. So let me know if you've heard about that one. Lost you twice. You shouldn't have lost me twice. Hopefully I don't see that anyone else is having any trouble. My internet looks good, so fingers crossed. Sponsor question. I already purchased. Can I change the pre-purchase for a Captain Hudson map? That one's tricky. We'll talk about that a bit later. I'll talk about the Captain Hudson prints. A new dog, says Neil. I do have a dog now. It's very exciting. His name's Rolo, and he's settling in very, very well. Very, very well. This is perhaps the most important question. I've had quite a lot of questions like this. Is someone going to be telling you how to do your job? Absolutely not. Some people had assumed that I was taking a 9-to-5 office job. I have done that for many years. I'm absolutely not doing that. So the announcement that I made is to do with these cruise maps, the company that's behind those. You've seen them in my videos for ages. And I have officially joined the team. If any of you were around on my channel in 2017, I apologize. I made my own versions of something like this. They were magnetic. They were absolutely awful, but it showed that I wanted them, right? Even back in 2017. So I met the guys, Matt and Will, who were behind this company last year, and I've decided to join them. So what that means is that I have ideas in my head and other people say, yes, we can do that. Instead of, Emma, what are you talking about? So that's amazing. We already have people in here who have ordered the Emma Cruises maps and are looking forward to getting them. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. I think maybe if we just bring Matt in, seeing as we already have some questions about the maps. Matt, are you ready? I see Matt's backstage there. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready, Matt. He's good. Right, let's bring him in. Everyone be nice. I know you guys are nice, but still. Welcome, Matt. Welcome.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yeah, I was planning on doing some sort of cruise questions, but we already have questions about the maps in here, so I thought, we'll just bring you in if that's all
Straight
right
into
with
it.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very exciting, isn't it? So we have as part of this announcement, we've decided to launch Captain Hudson Prince. Of course, we have. We know how much everybody loves Captain Hudson, and I do have right here beside me Captain Hudson on a map, and I think he looks beautiful. Let me know. Let me know what you think there. I think he looks so good. So you do have some partnerships with cruise lines. Sometimes they'll have cruise line branding on it. But I think Captain Hudson is personally my favorite. Personally my favorite. My mum's in the chat and she says, welcome, Matt. Welcome, Matt. Oh, it's so nice to see. We have so many people who have ordered maps already. We have a question from Keith who says, what does join the team mean in terms of my participation? Am I an employee, owner, agent, or manager? Shall I let you take that one, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly not employee. Emma's joined the team. She is a part owner in the cruise maps now, and we just saw that Emma's built such an amazing community here, and we wanted to be part of that and get all of Emma's amazing ideas and help build those out and bring those to the cruise industry. So it's just a really good fit, and it's a really nice way to work together.
Yeah, I remember I don't even know when I first met you, but I remember having a conversation a long time ago, and you said something about how other companies ignore the cruise industry because they don't think perhaps that we're cool. And you were like, no, we need to catch up. And I think that is so good because the more I think about this, there's so many things. I know we're at the moment talking about maps. Obviously, we have these; they're brilliant, but there's so much more than we can do. Than just physical maps, which is very, very interesting. I'm fascinated by this stuff, by all the cruises I've taken, to be able to see them. That's just keeps the cruise going, I think. We have so many questions in here. Oh my goodness. It's quite nice to have a guest on here because I can sort of read while you're talking. Not that I don't want to listen to your answers, but it kind of helps me. Donna says, is your whole business part of cruise maps or is your core business separate? So everything that I normally do, my YouTube videos, my live streams, my articles, my working with travel agents, everything that I do is going to stay exactly the same. The only difference really is that now when you say something to me like, Emma, why don't you do this? Instead of saying, oh, I'd love to, but I have no idea how. Now I have a team who know how. And I'm really, really, I'm excited all the time. For so many years, I've had so many ideas. We do have quite a few questions about upgrading, which I know is a tricky one. So maybe I'll let you take
well,
that
no,
one.
A lot of people have seen the new Hudson Prince, and it's a logical thing. You might want a Hudson one instead. And if your map has been ordered, hasn't been printed yet, we haven't so it's probably in the last couple of days that you've ordered one, then just get in touch at hello@thecruisemaps.com. and with your order number, and we can see what we can do. But yeah, most likely if we haven't printed it yet, we can.
But if it exists, it literally exists. So it exists, which I think is cool. I see a question that says, if we produce things that aren't map related, does your company need a name change?
It's a very good question. Maybe haven't got that far yet, but there's certainly a lot of ideas that aren't necessarily entirely map based, and we desperately want to talk about, but can't yet.
This is the trickiest part for me. Trickiest part for me. The question is, what would Emma's cruise map look like with every cruise you have done? I'm really interested in this because I think it would be fantastic to see where I've crossed over and I've not realized. There will be a few routes like Southampton to Bruges, which are just colored in. Just a thick line when I've done it so many times. I see an interesting question. I'm going to answer some questions about Rolo. I know you have dogs as well, so you don't mind. But what does the Adventures of Rolo and Hudson book title? What does that sound like? That sounds great. I think we're going to have to work Rolo into the Captain Hudson books at some point. But he'll definitely come in as a character that is enthusiastic but knows nothing. I've been trying to teach Rolo to do the stairs today. He's done 5 stairs. I'm very, very proud. Very proud. Question, will the maps deliver to India? I'll let you talk postage.
Yep, so they deliver all around the world, free delivery globally. So yeah, no reason why not.
I love that it's free because I have had such hard work posting things to places like New Zealand. So to just be like, it's free, don't think about it. Oh, it's so good, so good. Yeah, this is a statement. I love when people put statement or comment or something. It sounds more like Cruise Maps is joining the Emma team than Emma is joining the Cruise Maps team. Well, a bit of both. It's just mostly me here, so it's you know, now I have
Yeah.
colleagues, which I know it sounds weird. I know a lot of people want to get out of the office kind of thing, but I worked in a very traditional 9 to 5 office where I had to dress up in proper business clothes for a long time. So I really wanted to not do that. But then working by myself for 3 years, it's really nice to have people to talk to about stuff who actually care about these things.
Yeah, I'd also say to this, like when we're as a Cruise Maps team, we're not having any impact on what Emma does day to day and always does. So very much Emma's going to have a lot of impact on what we do.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm not going to be. I'm still cruising as much as I cruise. I'm still, I haven't accepted a normal 9 to 5 office job where I have, 4 weeks annual leave. Don't worry, I've not done anything like that. The question is, do the maps include port dates and times?
Not
So
port dates and times. No,
yeah,
they
it has
show
the
every
cruise
port you
dates.
stopped at.
Yeah, so it has the cruise dates on here, right?
Yeah,
It
so
has
start
the
date, end
name.
date, duration,
Oh,
but not
goodness.
every. And the reason for that is like it's a little tricky to know exactly when you entered the port and left the port and all the time zones and stuff. So look, we want to hear as much feedback as possible as well. We've had some amazing feedback even in the last couple of days from the social feeds, and we want to know what you like about the maps, what you don't like about the maps, what we can change, and any new products you think would be great. Keep it coming, really.
Yeah, literally. All these ideas that we've had for so many years, just say them out loud because we might actually be able to make them happen. I see my favorite part is the total of nautical miles at the bottom. I would like to know my total of all my
Accurate
cruises
email.
nautical
Yeah.
miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to add them together. But yeah, you can add a name on it. This one's just called Asia Adventure. I went for a same letter kind of thing on there, but you can call them whatever you like. There's an ice cream van going by my house right now. You can hear that little happy tune. If you missed the ship, would they give you a refund? I mean, you could cancel before the map was made, right? So
yeah, if you didn't go on the, we occasionally have this where someone's had maybe a bad experience. They pre-ordered a map because you can pre-order one up to a year in advance, and maybe they've had a bad experience on board and they no longer want it. And obviously, we're not going to force that. So if you get in touch with us during or straight after, before we've made the map, then yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that would be if something bad happened and you couldn't go on the cruise. That would just be really sad to have that map. But yeah, this is the real data of the cruise ship. I want to say that this isn't, you can't order it a year in advance and get it made before the cruise is gone because it is following the ship. So if something weird happens on your cruise, it might not even actually realize that something weird happens on your cruise, because when I get these, sometimes I've done a loop and I don't even know when I'm on the cruise. But it is from that. It is real. It is absolutely real. So it's not made until that cruise goes.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Question from Paul. Question for Matt, and this is question for Matt in capital letters. And he says, "Don't you think it's odd for people to like iced buns for breakfast?" Me, but think donuts are not a breakfast food. Do you think that's weird?
Yeah, I'm probably the wrong person to ask it, because I think I would happily have both for breakfast. So yeah,
I do. I just when I go on American cruise lines and the donuts are only there until 10 a.m. To me, that's not right. They should be there all day because I might want a donut at 2 p.m. But P&O do ice buns for breakfast, and it is the best thing you can get on P&O cruises. So I think some people just think, why am I saying that's okay, but not a donut? I don't know. I have both on both. Paul says, I went on a cruise in 1965. Could cruise maps make me a map? It wouldn't be the real data of the cruise because probably that's completely lost. But is there anything you could make?
So the tracking data really only started being a thing in 2001 for the very first time, and then 2008 it kind of popularized a bit, but before 2015 it's not great quality. So we draw the line at 2015 pretty arbitrarily as like that's the date where we can be sure they're going to be accurate. Obviously lots of people have amazing memories from before then. We are thinking about this and thinking, how can we do this from a, realistically it's probably from like an itinerary perspective rather than there won't be data out there to make it exactly accurate like the more recent maps, but there's a ton of really great memories, and yeah, we're working on that one. It's a good point.
Yeah, I've seen some. I had an email earlier from someone who had a collection going up their stairs on the landing, and they have all of them apart from they did one in maybe 1970 something, and just to have that missing is annoying. But I guess you would have to just guess, wouldn't you? You know, it's gone from somewhere to somewhere. So yeah, but we'll work on that. We'll work on that. The next question is one that we have this question quite a lot. I think it is about, can we add multiple cruises onto one map?
Yes, this is probably the most asked question of all. We can't, unless, of course, they're back-to-back cruises. So if you're on the same ship, you stayed on the ship for technically 2 cruises, but you didn't have a gap in between, then you just treat it as one when you're ordering, and it's essentially one cruise for the purposes of the map. The reason we don't put multiple cruises on one map is not for any other reason than it just, in the times we've tried it, it just doesn't look that great. Sometimes it looks very cluttered, lots and lots of port calls, and they're not that legible. And also you have a bit of a problem with scale. So sometimes you might have a really small 3-4 day cruise next to a 100-day world cruise, and you lose all the detail of the smaller one. So it's something we're trying to look at other solutions for, but at the moment it doesn't really work so well.
Yeah, I think that's just a limitation of a physical, how much can you put into a thing without it looking terrible. But we have very exciting plans. It'll be able to show all of your cruises together. So I cannot wait to see mine. It's going to be so cool. Have we got a cruise enthusiast here? So people asking about you like cruises.
Yeah. Yes, I haven't been on enough, to be fair. So my first cruise was actually last year on Queen Mary 2. But I go a long way back in cruising romantically, if that makes sense. My parents were met and worked on Cunard in the 80s. And so it was never an option for us as kids to go cruising, because it was like the last thing they wanted to do with their time, having worked on them for a long time. But no, now I've caught the bug this year, and I'll be going on lots more.
A very important question for Matt. Ketchup on pizza? ? Yes or no?
I'm a no, I'm afraid.
No, I'm waiting for someone to back me up on this one.
Yeah, sorry, not me.
I seem like, because on Royal Caribbean they have a ketchup machine next to the pizza, and it only serves pizza, right? So I said that's proof that it deserves to be there. But everyone just says it's not proof, it's just because they know people like you will do it. And sometimes people say, oh, it must be a British thing. It's not. Don't pull down everyone else in Britain for my choice. Oh, Jody says, to get the discount on the maps, do they have to be the same? I would like to order a framed and an unframed one. How do we use the Emma Cruises discount?
No, they can be any 2 maps.
Anything you like. So just type in Emma Cruises. Yeah. Type in Emma Cruises and it will just do it itself. You don't have to do anything. But yeah,
the issue with that is you can't stack the discounts together. This is something that comes up a bit, but you couldn't have the 10% Emma Cruises discount and the 15% for the 2 maps. But other than that,
Yep. Sounds good. That does, bring up the point. You can have them framed, unframed. We have different colors. You have different colors in your background. I have different colors here. We have satellite prints now. So look at that. I think I found the one way I can lean it without it seeing all my light. This way. You can look at the reflection of the hole in my ceiling where I put up a cat tower, and then obviously Hudson doesn't want to use it because cats don't use things that are on purpose, do they? We have Tony in here from La Lida Loca. Very nice to see you, Tony. I wonder where you are in the world. I can't keep up with everybody where you are, but let me know. Yeah, everyone's agreeing on pizza and ketchup. Phil says, Matt, is that a cruise map on the wall behind you?
It is actually. This is one from we did for Queen Anne's maiden voyage, so it's a limited edition. But I do have also, I'm going to see which direction it's in, but here my very first cruise as well, which was the transatlantic, which I absolutely loved. So yeah,
adorable.
Cruise maps everywhere.
Yeah, I'm yet to do a transatlantic, but I am doing one soon. So I think that's one that looks really nice on the map. So no, I didn't just book it so I could get that map, but it is nice. And then when you come home, it's like a present to yourself from past you. Oh my goodness, there's so many questions. People are very very strong-willed about the pizza and the ketchup. One question was about how have the maps changed since since you did the very first version? What have the updates been?
Yeah, I mean, massively is probably the best answer. I mean, we were nothing like this, to my knowledge anyway, that was exactly accurate to the route existed before we created it last year. So we wanted to test that out, see whether people wanted something like this. So the first version was pretty straightforward, I would say, but since then we've added the labels for the ports. That was a huge change. Added different frame colors. I think improved the style of the map as well, and added satellites. So yeah, we are constantly trying to add new things, and
yeah, we have some conversations we've had. I see the same conversations happening in the chat, which is really cool, about smaller prints, albums of prints. Things are coming. Things are coming. Watch this space.
Yeah, I would love to say more, but watch this space.
Yeah, watch this space. And we yep. Question for Matt on the Queen Mary 2 trip. What was the food that impressed you? An impressive food?
I enjoyed the buffet actually in King's Court. I had, I think, quite a. I didn't go to the Britannia Grill too often. I'm not a huge dressing up guy, and so I maybe I was on the wrong line. I don't know, but I definitely enjoyed it.
You picked the most formal one of all.
Yeah. I think it's the romantic connection from the 80s with my mum. I took my mum with me on board, so it was her first time on board as a passenger rather than as crew. So 40 years later, which was quite cool. But yeah, it was really cool.
That sounds good. If a port is added or dropped, will the map include that change?
Yeah, that's a huge point. It absolutely will. So you don't need to tell us anything. You don't need to let us know that you had a diversion or change ports, or that, because we don't look at the itinerary data, so the itinerary that was planned at all. It's entirely off the back of the data from the AIS satellite tracking of the ship. So it's just it happens automatically, which is great.
Yeah. That's good, because I would say 1 in 4 probably of my cruises I take has some sort of change, either last minute or on board it's too rough or something's happening. So I can't imagine if you had to be told every single time, you'd need like a whole new employee just for that. Questions. Oh, there's so many questions where it's like I know the answer, but also we're not ready to say those things yet. I don't want to give away too much, but rest assured, all the things that you are thinking are the same things we're thinking. Things like albums and prints and greetings card, postcards. That's a nice one. I haven't thought about postcards before. What can cause a cruise to be delayed? Anything. I've been on cruises that have been delayed. Once my cruise was delayed because someone didn't get off. They tried to stow away on the cruise, so we were delayed a couple of hours standing outside in the rain. That wasn't great. Bad weather, that's very common. If you have any sort of medical emergency, I've been on cruises where we've sailed away, I think at 1 a.m. on one of my cruises because they had a thing. They had to get someone off. Yeah, anything really. I can't really think of anything that they wouldn't delay a cruise for. But it's totally fine, because once you're on the ship, right, it doesn't really matter if you're at sea, or they'll make up the time, they'll work it out, they'll work out where you're going. You just have a good cruise. What kind of ships does it include? Is it just cruise ships?
It is just cruise ships at the moment. Yeah, it is just cruise ships. I mean, we view that pretty broadly. So there's a lot of smaller, it's not just the main, huge cruise ships on that. So I think it's got to be 500 on there at the moment. So there's a lot of the smaller ones that do routes around like the Galapagos and various other places as well that you wouldn't naturally class in that category maybe. But yeah.
You have more than just the big 5 cruise lines.
If we're missing, then let us know as well if you think, because the data probably is out there and we'll try and find it, but let us know if we don't have the one that you were on.
I see a question that's a bit more general, but I think both you and me can answer this question. It is from someone who is thinking of becoming a travel agent, and how has it been for us taking a hobby and a passion and turning it into a job? For me, my plan was never to turn this into a job. I think you were a bit more organized with your plan.
I
Yeah.
certainly wouldn't have. I didn't expect to be working on a cruise-based business at all. I just sort of saw the idea with Will last year and wanted to test it out, and it was a side project for us, and it went a bit crazy, and we decided, excellent, let's try and do this properly.
Yeah, good. Yeah, mine was not anything like that. There was no plan, even in the slightest. I worked in insurance. I worked in data development. I did coding all day. It was fine, but it was absolutely not exciting me in any way. So I started just I thought it would be funny. I started a website. It was originally called cruisingisn'tjustforallpeople.co.uk because I was 23. I wasn't old then, but now I'm getting older. Um, just because my brother said, "Oh, you're starting a website. What are you going to call it?" And I just thought that was funny. So that's where I started in 2016. I started that, and I started a YouTube channel just because there were things that were easier to show than speak. It's really hard to speak about this is the view from the lift, this is the sailing, that kind of stuff. So I used to put that on a YouTube channel. I had no plans for this to be a business at all until 2020, really, when we came home for those 2 weeks to work from home for 2 weeks. We never went back. And I kind of I think a lot of people reevaluated things then when they were sat at home and thinking, do I ever want to go back to that job? No. So I started to sort of sow business seeds, plan things, hoping that everyone would cruise again, because at the time they were saying to us, cruising is done. People will never travel again. No one's ever going to go in a group again. Thankfully, everyone came back more. People are cruising more now. I think we've overtaken 2019. So good. But yes, that was not my plan, but I think sometimes the best things are not planned and they just happened, and it's still happening. And I'm very grateful the whole time that it is happening. Oh, some very interesting comments. Thank you very much to the moderators who look after these chats, by the way. I would not be doing these without you. Yeah, we have some comments that say, there's only so much space on a wall. We totally get that. Totally get that. Especially for me as well. I don't think I have done quite a lot of cruises. I don't think, unless I do the ceiling, which you could do. But we have loads of other ideas that won't take up space. So keep watching. Yes, please, if you can, like the live stream, it just gives it a good signal. Follow you around YouTube. Subscribers is great, but it's not really as good as just a like and a comment. I would like, make me a tiny map for a dinner cruise. Okay. There's no limit on the cruise, how long it has to be, is there? Even if it's a one-day cruise. I've seen some that go from Newcastle to Southampton. Even if it's a one-day cruise, that's totally fine. We did joke about making my ambassador cruise on a map, which is the one that got cancelled at dinner. So it'd just be London Tilbury. London Tilbury. We have questions about river cruises. We had this conversation recently, so I'll let you share.
Yeah, so river cruises aren't currently included. The reason for that is that the data on their exact movement is just not as good as ocean-going cruise ships. Currently, there's just a lot more interference, if you can imagine, hills and bits of land in the way. And so we're working on that. We're trying to find a solution, but at the moment, it's just ocean-going cruise ships.
I think that's fair. I can imagine. My most recent river cruise was in Venice, and between those, I don't even know. Probably the map would look really weird. So yeah,
we have tried. The team pulling their hair out with it, so we're figuring it out, but not yet, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Question is, have you considered doing a behind-the-scenes video of how the maps are printed? I've seen some behind-the-scenes stuff on your Instagram. I would say that's probably the best place.
There's a bit on the Instagram, yeah. We've got some stuff from the print facility showing exactly how the frames are made. They're all made by hand, printed, and yeah, there's some on there, but we can definitely do some better video probably now we've got Emma helping us out.
Yeah, I think I mean, for me, sometimes I get these cruises and I remember, oh yeah, that's where I get the map and I remember, oh yeah, that's the cruise where we had this medical emergency. That's the cruise where this thing happened. And I bet there's so many people with really interesting maps that I don't even realize. And the more stuff people can send in, show us. I love seeing the pictures. If you can make little Instagram videos and stuff like that, that would be fabulous. So I'm very nosy. Like it's the best just being able to see. some people take really amazing cruises, especially the really long ones or the really random itineraries. I just look and I'm like, that's awesome. So awesome. Captain Hudson graphic is so cute. It is so cute, isn't it? So there's a limited edition. So don't miss out on them, please. I do whatever I do, people always miss out on it, and I feel bad. But for a limited time, we have Captain Hudson on the maps, which is very, very cool. And also, they have my signature on them, which is interesting because I do get asked for a signature sometimes. So that's on there, isn't it? We thought about that last minute, just stick on a signature. So yeah, I hope that you like that. All right, I think I'm going to answer some of the more cruisy related questions now. I see them piling up. If that's all right with you, Matt. I think we have shared our story. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support in the chat. It's just so nice, and I'm so excited because there's going to be so many things we can announce very soon. And I can't wait. It's going to be fabulous. But yeah, we'll get you back on here when we have more things.
And if there are any questions, then just fire them through to hello@thecruisemaps.com. I'll answer every single one. So just fire them through. I will answer them all.
That sounds brilliant. Thank you very much. All right, I'm going to pop you back down. Pop, pop, pop. Bye. Oh my goodness, it's been a while since I've had a guest on a live stream. It's really fun. It's nice for me to be able to take the time to read the question before the next question comes up. But yeah, of course, please, if you do have questions more about the maps, keep them coming and I will answer them. I think I know most of the answers, but I'm just thinking there's some in here that I'd love to answer, which are more about just general sort of cruising. So yeah, if you can start the question with question, it just really helps. And if you can also keep the question as short as possible, it just increases the chance that I'll be able to answer it. Just because if the question is really long, I don't want to pause and I don't want to, be reading. I don't want you to just have to watch me reading. Yeah, don't forget to like the video. Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Oh, I was on the same NCL Alaska cruise as you. Have all the videos been posted by you and NCL? Yes, so we have my sort of story video, the type of video you're used to on my channel. I also did a cabin review. That's not like my normal cabin reviews because that's a balcony cabin. Very nice. And then I have a video about the excursions that is on the Norwegian channel. So yes, that's all out now. I've done more things on my website. If you want to have a look on there, just search Norwegian Cruise Alaska and it'll all come up. It'll all come up. Website is looking pretty great. Yes, it is. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm thinking of doing a cruise in 2025. I am disabled and I'm having trouble finding cruises that come to Southampton and have disabled rooms. Anything bad about MSC? I have done 6 MSC cruises. I like MSC. I've cruised out of Southampton with MSC tons of times. MSC is just very different from the American cruise lines. It's different from the British cruise lines because it's not either of those things. So when you go on an MSC cruise, people will be speaking French, German, Spanish. Everyone's all together. And I find that fun. Not everyone does, but I find that fun. I think their ships are lovely. They're sparkly. They smell nice. They have an actual MSC scent that you can buy. And yeah, I think you have a good time. The key really with disabled rooms is just to book as far in advance as you can. If you can book 3, 4, well, however far in advance they launch the cruises, 3 years in advance, sadly, that's kind of what you have to do if you need an accessible cabin. I have never been on Oceania. No, never, ever, ever. Is your friend okay? My friend is good. Thank you. Which friend? Do you mean Matt? Matt's good. Oh, thanks, Matt. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, thanks to Matt. It's nice. It's so nice to have colleagues. I know I've said that before, but just to have people who understand what I'm saying and also care about what everyone else thinks about things is so nice. So nice. Yeah, it's tricky. The website can't really make a preview of the map because it is, well, it'll fetch the data. It'll check that the data's there, but it does go through people who check it and maybe, they might need to amend it if something's wrong. So I think at the moment, no, but perhaps. Almost fell down the stairs because they were so sparkly, not even joking. I'm not surprised. MSC stairs are very sparkly. Don't they have crystals in them or something? Yeah, very, very sparkly. I've never done an American river cruise. No, I've done European river cruises quite a lot. The American river cruises are very expensive. I would like to do one. It looks interesting, but yeah. Do they have an office for you to go to? Yes, actually, yes. And it's so funny to me because I've only ever worked in really traditional offices, you know, where you have to wear normal work clothes and you have to, I don't know, just be a proper businesswoman. And I always thought that was kind of the only way. And now I realize that, you know, everyone here is just really nice. Everyone's just chill. It's so good. Ooh, June's Travel says, I did a cruise from Amsterdam to Iceland. I was the minority from the US. I quite like that. You know, if I'm going to take a cruise that's in Italy and people are speaking Italian, that just makes me feel more like I'm on a cruise in Italy. Sometimes it's kind of weird to go really far away and everyone is from exactly where you're from. I like a mix, though. I like a mix. Where do you pack your Hudsons, hand or main luggage? So I normally pack him in my hand luggage. When I was coming back from Venice, I thought I'll pack him in the suitcase. And the suitcase got lost. It got left in Venice. And it was there for 2 days. And it was all of my really sweaty, dirty clothes because it was so hot in Venice. And Hudson was trapped in the suitcase with them. So there's that. Do you stick to your allotted embarkation time? I do, yes. I will say sometimes, though, the cruise line will give me an embarkation time, and then the next day it will change, and then the next day it will change, and then the next day it will change, and then I'll just pick, once I get one that I like, I'll just get it and then not look again because it will change. But as long as you have the piece of paper that has the time on it and you were assigned that time, then it's fine. Some cruise lines make you wait, some don't. My most recent P&O cruise, you know, they had two lines: on time people, too early people. They were just standing there waiting for their time and we were going. So I wouldn't want to be there too early. Did you say you took a river cruise in Venice? Is there a video? There is a video in the making. It's not already ready. I'm nearly done with the script. It was a Uni World river cruise. I think it was the most luxurious river cruise I've ever taken. Not a press trip in any way. I paid my cold, hard money for that cruise. And it was pretty much in a 50% off sale, which made it double what I would normally pay. So I thought, this is my chance. But yes, it'll be very, very soon. A couple of weeks, probably, I would think. With the maps, can we order one from a cruise we took in the past? And if so, how far in the past would be able to get one from? Yes, absolutely. I think the majority of people order them for cruises in the past. And the data is good, definitely, from 2015. If you do one before that, there's some that they can get, some that they can't. So you can just send them an email and they will let you know. Oh, Alan Richard says, bought 3 maps the other week. Absolutely love them. I'm glad. Also, I'm relieved because now if it's Christmas or something, I have been on a cruise with someone. I know where I'm getting them. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. What is the longest cruise you've been on? 2 weeks. 2 weeks is the longest cruise I've been on. Yeah. 2 weeks. So nothing, you know, having on a month-long cruise or a 3-month-long cruise or anything like that. But for me now, it doesn't make sense to do a long cruise. You know, I can try everything I need to try on a cruise in a week, really. And it would be better for me to do 2 separate weeks, so 2 different cruises, rather than 1 2-week cruise. So if I'm going really far away to Japan or somewhere, then fair enough. But yeah, normally I do week. 10 days is lovely. 12 days is amazing. 2 weeks is also fantastic. But yeah, normally 5, 7 days, sometimes 3 days. There's not really a cruise I won't do. Yeah, I'm not sure about world cruises. I get asked a lot about would I consider going on a world cruise? Not now, definitely not now. I would miss my cat too much, my dog too much, my family, my friends too much. And yeah, I just don't think I'd want to be on the same ship for that long with the same table at dinner and the same waiters and the same everything. I think I'll just, yeah, I don't know. I just prefer to do different cruises, plan my own world cruise. How old is your baby Hudson? Baby Hudson, the real Hudson, is about 10 years old. So he's getting old for a cat. But he's an adopted cat. So we're not really sure how old. We're not really sure how old. Did we ever sort out autographed copies of the books? No, we didn't. And if you want one, you can probably have one, but it's not going to be straight away. So yeah, because yeah, I will just set them live. I just want to set them live so you can buy them. And they'll just be on Amazon. So Amazon's printing them, Amazon's sending them. Oh, what kind of dog do you have? And can we get a plush of him or her too? So he's a rescue dog. He just is a street dog. street dog breed. I'm not sure on his breed yet. We're going to do a DNA test on him though, so I'll let you know. But yeah, perhaps I'd like to raise money for the charity that I got him from. I think that would be really good. But the Hudsons, I think, will always be for mercy ships. In 50 years, Emma will be living on a ship. I bet it. Maybe so. Maybe so. Do you... Oh, I can see my mum replying to comments, but I can't see the comments. Do you ever interact with other cruise vloggers? I have, even in this live stream. Yes, I'd say there's probably not a day that goes by that I don't talk to someone. Yeah, no, definitely every day. Multiple times every day, probably. Oh, just got off my first cruise on Celebrity Apex. Thanks for getting me into cruising. You are very welcome. That is a very nice ship. Very nice ship. I haven't been on Apex. I've been on Edge. They're almost exactly the same. And I took that cruise with my mum. I had the controversial cabin, you know, the one that is a balcony, but it's not really a balcony. I think 2 million people have seen my video of that cabin, which is just crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, I do back-to-back cruises if I have to travel to Europe or Australia because the airfare is expensive. Yeah, of course. If you have the time, absolutely. I think a back-to-back cruise could be really interesting because you get to sort of stay on while everyone else gets off, and that's a good feeling. Who is going to watch your puppy while you cruise? The same people who watch my cat, who watch my house. My house has never left unattended. My cat's never left unattended. So to be honest, it almost feels like might as well have a dog there too. So yeah. Lots of people hate those virtual balconies. Yes. When will the plush Hudson be out again? So he is supposed to be finished in the next week and then coming very slowly to me. So probably, I think it's going to be about another month before he's ready to buy. But the books will be out sooner than that. I'm hoping the books will be out middle of September. So that's what I'm focusing on right now with the cruise maps and the books and the Hudsons and so many things going on. It is so good. Yeah, my mum says that was a lovely cruise. I would love to go on Apex and try the panoramic ocean view. Yeah, me too. So that's basically like a massive, it's almost like what we had, like glass, massive window. It's basically what it is. Have you ever thought about setting up your own cruise line? I think you need billions of pounds. And if I had billions of pounds, I would pay off my mortgage before I would set up a cruise line. So, no. And I wouldn't even want to because it would just, if I created a cruise line that was what I wanted, there'd be a million people who'd be unhappy with it. And I would just, no, no. The Hudson toys look wonderful, I must say. Thank you very much. I think they're very cute. Very, very cute. Oh, what item do you wish you could take on board that's currently against the rules, says Bill. That's a good one. I'm not sure, really, because the things that you can't take on board are normally dangerous things. I have no interest in taking dangerous things. I've never wanted to take fireworks or a drone or anything on a cruise. I don't really drink alcohol, so it's not really, I'm never going to be someone who hides alcohol in a mouthwash bottle or anything like that. I don't care that much. And also I don't iron anything, so I'm not trying to get an iron on board or a steamer. I don't think there's really anything that I would want that's against the rules. Yeah, I mean, no, I don't think. If anyone can think of anything, then let me know. But I don't think there's anything. Maybe I just stick to the rules too well. Oh, are you going on Queen Anne? Yes, I do have a cruise booked on Queen Anne. I'm looking forward to that for sure. Have you been on a Virgin cruise? I have, but it was just after the pandemic, and I don't really think it's a true reflection of a Virgin cruise necessarily. I think a lot has changed in the last couple of years. I was on the sort of press launch, and then I went back again for another cruise, and they've changed almost everything that I mentioned in that original review, which is good because they needed to change some of those things, like adding in extra storage and stuff like that to the cabins. The ships are all exactly the same, though, so I don't really feel the need to rush back and try a new ship because they're all the same. But I would like to do it again, yeah. I see a reply from my mum. I don't know what the question is, but my mum said, I've been on a Patreon podcast, but not interested in doing a live. Too scary. Yeah, I wouldn't put my mum on a live stream. That would be kind of mean. But yes, I do sometimes interviews in my Patreon. That's smaller group. It feels nice in there. So I have both my parents on there. I've had Jono on there. Yeah, I have most people on there now, which is cool. So if you do want to listen to those, all of the podcasts I've ever made inside Patreon are there forever. So if you join that, then you'll have access to those. Where do you take your holidays? Going on a cruise is like going into the office for you. I haven't taken any sort of non-cruise holiday for many years. Definitely not since the pandemic, and I don't really want to. Sometimes I think about it. I'm like, Emma, should you just go and stay, have a nice week in Crete or something by the pool? I just think I'll be so bored of it. Gotta be honest. It doesn't interest me much anymore. And I just don't really have the time. If I'm going to spend the time traveling and not film it, and I don't know, it doesn't really feel worth it to me anymore. One day though, one day, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, no, Mum is not going to come on the live stream. That's definitely not happening. What would be your most and least favorite job on a cruise ship? Probably my least favorite would be a bartender because I don't know how to make anything. I'd be very stressed. And also hanging out with drunk people all day, that would stress me out. What would be my most favorite job on a cruise ship? I don't really think I have any of the skills, I guess. I don't play any instruments. That would be kind of cool if I could do that. They do have on some cruises, they have like a person who, I don't know what they're called. They have them on Morella and they sort of organize stuff and they go on the excursions and look after people and things. That would be kind of fun. That would be fun. When are you going to do travel documentaries not about cruising? I don't think I will. I gotta be honest. I don't think I will. I don't do any travel that's not cruising. So yeah, that would be it. And also, yeah, no, probably not. Cruise director. I would not be very good at being a cruise director. I hate public speaking. The thought of walking out onto that stage, that makes me feel ill, even though I don't have to actually do it. And also, they're always so nicely dressed. I can't imagine being nicely dressed and awake all day, every single day. I'm wearing pajamas on the bottom half. I always am. Why not? Are you happy that Norway has delayed implementing cruise ship bans until 2032? Yes, so these were rules that were going to come into place for a few of the cruise ports. It wasn't always every cruise port, but to do with the emissions, they were going to not allow cruise ships in. It's good, obviously, for us that we can take cruises, and the prices for next year are not going to be so high because it's the last year you can go to those ports. So that's good. I do feel for cruise lines like Havila. I took a cruise on Havila and they have a battery powered ship. They've gone below the regulations. They've done everything they were told. And to do everything that you were told everyone had to do, and then they say, oh, actually, you don't have to do it. Like, that would be kind of annoying. But I'm glad to still cruise to those places in Norway, of course. I really like Norway. Really like Norway. Oh, Amanda says, no question from me. Just want to say thanks for your videos. They got me through a really rough time. I appreciate it. It's so weird to me because I obviously have YouTubers that I watch that I feel like I've known for a long time. And it's so weird that other people think of me like that. It's so funny, if I go to, I don't know, the theatre or something, I'm always amazed by how people can sing and dance or be this. And you can watch someone and then you feel like you know them, but yeah, I don't know. It's just so strange, but it's so nice. It absolutely makes it worthwhile. That's why I do it. When people say that they took their first cruise, they had a great time, or that they just listened to my videos to fall asleep, like brilliant. That's so good. Please do that. Please do that. Hopefully, all I want is people to feel better at the end than when they clicked on the video. That's it. It's supposed to be fun, right? Sometimes I look at things on the internet. I'm like, isn't this supposed to be fun? Cruises are supposed to be the highlight of your year, right? You're supposed to save up and work hard to do the cruise. And sometimes I speak to people who are so unhappy with, I just think, everything on cruises. And I think, what is the rest of your life like? This is supposed to be the fun bit. And you're complaining about something so ridiculous. But anyway, that's my thoughts. Thank you, Jackie, for sharing my travel insurance blog. This one, I don't know, 5 days maybe this one took me to write, and I don't regret a single second of it. Is the most important thing you can ever do. Don't ever take a cruise without travel insurance. Makes me feel quite ill when people tell me, and there's sometimes people try and brag about it, and I'm like, that's really not a flex. That's not impressive. Dave says, "Can you go all out on one cruise so we can see the other side to the expenses?" Yeah, so I try and on my cruises, I tend to do inside cabins, sometimes balcony cabins, but normally inside cabins, ocean views, anything weird, inside facing balcony cabins. That's what I tend to do. A couple of times a year, I'll do a thing where I work with a cruise line, like I did some with Norwegian last year. They wanted videos for their YouTube channel. And when I do something like that, they're never going to put me in an inside cabin. They're always going to want me to have a nice cabin. So I have two coming up like that, where you will see the other side, which I think is good, because it's one thing me saying, oh, you don't need this, don't need this. If I've never done it, it doesn't really mean as much, right? So yeah, and plenty of people do want to do those things. People do want to stay in suites. I want a cabin with a bath. That's my personal life goal. So yeah. Do you think a cruise makes it easy for parents to bring their children on their first European vacation? I think it would make it, if you are going to take children to Europe, either by a cruise or another way, then it's much easier. I think it's like being looked after on a cruise, because at least someone knows where you are. Someone is feeding you, someone is checking on you. I've been on cruises before where I've had, do not disturb on for a while because I've been ill or something, and then they check on you. They're like, I'm just checking you're okay, I haven't seen you in a day. And people know you, right? So I think that's really nice. And also, if you're on a cruise, you don't have to keep unpacking and repacking, and children seem to have a lot of stuff that goes with them, so I imagine that's good. I would think so. Yeah, there are bathtubs on cruises, even in the most random cabins. I've only had one twice. Once, as we were talking about, was on one of those press trips. I did a journalist kind of trip with Princess a few years ago. Amazing. And also, I had a little bath when I took that Fred Olsen cruise into the Arctic Circle. It was kind of a half bath. And I was pretty seasick, so I spent a lot of time in the bath. That was the only place I didn't feel ill. I don't know why. I guess the water and stuff like that. But yeah. Yeah, with all the money people spend on a cruise, not being able to drop a few $100s on travel insurance doesn't make sense. Yeah, I saw something the other day and someone said, oh, I don't have travel insurance for this. I only get travel insurance for things I can't replace. And I was like, your life? You can't replace your literal life? Isn't that important? I don't know. That's quite funny. But yeah. Oh, Neil says, I wanted a cruise cabin with a bath. I finally got one and I didn't fit. Yeah, sometimes they're really tiny. I was recently on P&O's Aurora. I had the normal inside cabin. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. That's my most recent video. But in the balconies, they have kind of like a half bath, a small bath. And I had a friend who was staying in one, so he invited me to see his cabin. And I, of course, tried the bath. And it was either you could have the bottom half in or the top half. Which is better than nothing. I'll take it. Yeah, lots of comments about cruises being the easiest holidays. Absolutely, I think they're easiest because, yeah, I don't know. Once you get to that cruise, once you get on, you can relax in a way that you can't really relax if you're, having to find your next, where am I going to eat dinner and all that kind of stuff on a cruise. Doesn't matter. You just unlimited food. Just chill. You can just chill. Love a bath. Yeah, me too. Regent Seven Seas have amazing baths. Took a bath every day. That sounds great. I've never cruised there with Regent Seven Seas, but that sounds good. Hopefully I'll get to one day. Hopefully. I've cruised with most of the major cruise lines. The one I'm missing is Holland America. So I've heard good things about Holland America. I'd like to do it. They're not normally in Europe much, and I don't know, when I've been in the States or something, I've just been there for another reason. It's just not worked out. I'm definitely not avoiding them. I would like to cruise with them, but it just hasn't worked out yet. But I think that's it really for mainstream cruise lines. I think I've done all the others now. If you were asked, would you do an afternoon Q&A on a cruise ship, says Steve. I would probably make myself feel ill for a very long time before it, and I'd probably be very stressed. So I don't know if I would like to. Maybe I would do it. I guess if other people were there, I might do it, but I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't choose to do it because I would just work myself in a state and feel very stressed. Yeah. Thank you, moderators, for looking after these. Sometimes I just sit and see the comments come up and then disappear, and I much appreciate it. Do you do other vacations other than cruises? And do cruises feel like a job versus a vacation? I don't do any other vacations really, and it sometimes it feels like a job. You know, when I have work to do, it feels like I'm working from a cruise ship because I am. You know, sometimes I have to do meetings and calls and emails, and I have to get certain things filmed, and I have to do certain things. I don't always though. Depends who I'm with. Depends on, you know, if I'm on a press trip, that feels much more like work. If I'm on a regular trip, then not so much. But the thing is, you know, my most recent cruise, I was on a river cruise, and the Azamara Pursuit came up next to us, and we're there, that tiny little river ship with 3 decks, 4 decks, and looking up at that ship and just waving at everyone. I was like, this is so good. I love this so much. Yeah. Do you get stressed when making videos for Norwegian Cruise Line? No, not at all, because they've never given me any feedback or told me what to say or anything. They've just said, Emma, can you make us a video about excursions for our channel? And then I say, yep, I know how to do that. I've done 750 videos before, and I give it to them. The only thing that's stressful is obviously I don't control the comments, or I don't control anything. I can't see the statistics, and I'm always there refreshing the data and everything, and I can't see anything like that. But you know, they're buying a thing from me. They're hiring me for a job to do that. Once I've given it to them, then that's it. So yeah, I don't feel stressed really, but obviously I have deadlines and stuff, which is different. Will Rolo be joining future lives? I would love him to. At the moment, there's no way he could come in this room because he would be just chewing on my seat. He'd just chew on the legs and I'd fall on the floor, and he'd knock the laptop over and the tea's here. It would just, it wouldn't work very well. But one day, maybe once he's actually calmed down a little bit. He's only 7 months old. He's still a baby. But yes. It's so funny to see also people answering the questions, and I don't see what the questions are. But yeah, we're almost at the end of this live stream. Time flies. And I think time flies even more when we have a guest, because it sort of feels like doing 2 different live streams. But if you have any quick fire questions, can you start them with question? Keep them as short as possible, and I will do my best to answer as many as I can. But yes, thank you so much for the support on, you know, my business announcement this week. It's been really, really good. So yeah. Is Rolo also a candy in the UK like it is in the UK, in the US? The chocolates, the round chocolates. If that's what you mean, then yes. But sometimes you have different things. I would just say chocolates. We wouldn't really say like candy. To me is like Sour Patch Kids, those kind of candies. For me, it's just chocolate. How did Rolo get his name? I didn't name him. He had a sponsor when he was at his kennel, when he was found. So they named him. And I guess just because he's brown, like chocolate, like Rolo's, and it suits him. And I think it's cute. Is seasickness a issue on big cruise ships? You can get seasick on a big cruise ship, a small cruise ship, an old cruise ship, you know, any cruise ship. The newer ones, I think, are better. But some of the new big ones really are not shaped. They're very shaped like blocks of flats. That's what my mum would say, shaped like blocks of flats. But it is pretty rare that I get seasick. It's only if we have a storm, or I cruise to silly places at silly times. I cruise into the Arctic Circle in March on an old ship. So, yeah. Are the maps paper or wood? I mean, the actual maps are paper, but they are in... These are in wooden frames. You see the paper frame? But yeah, these ones look really cool. Oh, there's me. These ones look really cool. If you have like in the Caribbean and stuff, the satellite one looks cool. But yeah, any of these, you don't have to get the Captain Hudson ones, of course. This one's just a normal one, but this is the Captain Hudson one. And Emma Cruises is, I think, always going to be the discount, just because we'll just keep that. It is easy peasy, and it works. But yeah, Captain Hudson ones, I'm not sure how many we'll have, so please don't miss those. Please don't miss those. Aw. So many just nice comments. The fact that people who I don't know genuinely want me to do well at things is just mind-blowing. I think when you spend a lot of time on the internet like I do, I see a lot of people who wish you harm and bad things. And it's so nice that the majority of people are super nice and genuinely just, yeah, people just like to watch me go on a cruise, which is what I always wanted. That is my hope. Will Rolo become a mascot? I think he's making himself one, even if I don't try. I think so. Yeah, all right. That is it for our live stream. So I'm going to be here at the same time next week. So that's 5 p.m. UK time, 12 p.m. Eastern, I believe. If it's not, I've been saying that wrong for a very long time. And I will be here, and then I will be probably not here the week after, but I'll let you know more about that next week. All right. Thank you so much. Oh, thanks. Rich says, can't wait to see what's next for M's Empire. Thank you very much. I'm excited too. There's so many things I've had in my head that we can now actually make exist. Yeah. Right. Thank you so much, everybody. I will talk to you next week. Bye.